Introduction to Air Pollution. This video is designed to assist viewers understand air pollution from industry and commercial activity. In Kansas, the KDHE Bureau of Air is the authority that monitors, regulates, and permits air emission sources and activities through the state's EPA-approved State Implementation Plan, or SIP, and through adoption of some federal air quality rules and interpretations. Resources on regulations, permitting, emission inventory, monitoring, planning, and public notices for permits, regulations, and other actions can be found on their webpage. What are air pollutants? Air pollutants can be placed into three main categories: criteria air pollutants, volatile organic compounds, and hazardous air pollutants. More information about these pollutants can be found on EPA's website through the links on the right side of the screen. Let's start with the criteria pollutants. EPA has established National Ambient Air Quality Standards, or NAAQS, NAAQS, for these pollutants to help monitor pollution levels throughout the country and to provide for remedial action if the pollution levels of any criteria pollutant exceeds the levels established to protect human health, ecosystems, and even our infrastructure and property from damage. The 6 criteria pollutants are oxides of nitrogen, or NOx, and nitrogen dioxide, or NO2, as the indicator criteria pollutant, oxides of sulfur, or SOx, that include sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, with SO2 as the indicator criteria pollutant, carbon monoxide, or CO, particulate matter, which includes PM10 and PM2.5, ground level ozone, or O3, and lead. NOx, SOx, and CO are common pollutants from the combustion of fossil fuels. However, these pollutants can also be emitted from other industrial processes and even natural sources. Not only can these pollutants cause adverse health impacts, such as carbon monoxide poisoning, SOx and NOx can cause property and ecosystem damage through acid rain. Both can be in the form of particulate matter and contribute to reduced visibility and a hazy appearance to our air. Particulate matter is regulated in 3 forms. There is particulate matter that is greater than 10 microns. There is particulate matter less than or equal to 10 microns, or PM10. And there is particulate matter less than or equal to 2.5 microns, or PM2.5. Depending on your operations, the particulate matter emitted from your process could be one or all 3 of these pollutants. Ground level ozone. While ozone is important in the upper atmosphere, or stratosphere, ground level ozone in our troposphere can cause ill health effects and reduce visibility. Any source emitting NOx or volatile organic compound emissions are contributors to the formation of ozone. Natural sources of ground level ozone can occur in some areas when the jet stream brings air from the stratosphere into the troposphere, which is a phenomenon known as stratospheric intrusion. These events can cause high ozone concentrations. O3 can adversely impact persons with asthma, bronchitis, emphysema, children, older adults, and can reduce lung function and harm lung tissue in people who are active outdoors, especially outdoor workers. Sources of lead can also originate from the combustion of certain fuels which contain lead, or from industries such as acid battery manufacturers or other manufacturing operations where lead is used in the process. Lead is bioaccumulative and can cause nervous, kidney, immune, and developmental systems damage, especially in children. The second group of pollutants are volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. VOCs are defined by EPA and KDHE as any compound of carbon which participates in atmospheric photochemical reactions. This includes most organic compounds or hydrocarbons, except those specifically identified by EPA and KDHE as having negligible photochemical reactivity. We learned earlier about ground level ozone as a criteria pollutant. VOCs are considered precursors to the formation of ground level ozone. Although some VOCs may also have environmental and health implications, such as being carcinogenic, VOCs are regulated mainly for the photochemical reaction that occurs in sunlight in the presence of NOx to produce ground level ozone. EPA and KDHE have a list of compounds that are considered exempt VOCs due to their negligible photochemical reactivity. VOCs can be emitted from various processes, including combustion of fossil fuel, and are found in paints, coatings, and solvents used widely by industry. The last group of pollutants are the air toxics, also known as hazardous air pollutants, or HAPs. HAPs are defined by EPA and KDHE as pollutants that are known or suspected to cause cancer or other serious health effects, such as reproductive or birth defects or adverse environmental impacts. Currently, EPA and KDHE maintain a list of 187 individual and classes of toxic air pollutants. Some examples of hazardous air pollutants are benzene, toluene, perchloroethylene, and metals such as chromium, cadmium, manganese, and lead. HAPs can be emitted from various industrial processes, including combustion of fossil fuels, and are found in paints, coatings, and solvents used widely by industry. An added level of complexity in regards to VOCs and HAPs is that some VOCs are also HAPs, but not all VOCs are HAPs. Additionally, some HAPs are VOCs, but not all HAPs are VOCs. This is an important aspect to remember when calculating the PTE, or actual emissions, of the facility. Any VOC that is also a HAP must be counted as both a VOC and a HAP, as well as any HAP that is also a VOC must be counted as both a HAP and a VOC when assessing facility emissions. Evaluating your individual emission units, processes, and facility-wide emissions is the first crucial step towards compliance with Kansas and EPA air regulations. In our video series, we'll be covering calculating PTE, how to identify what permits you need, and how to apply for the proper permits. For assistance identifying your air emissions, K-State's Small Business Environmental Assistance Program, or SBEAP, provides free and confidential technical assistance for small businesses in Kansas. If you are a small business in another state, please contact your state SBEAP. Additional information can be found on the National SBEAP website shown on the slide.